Today we're going to talk about a very useful add-on for all Blender animators out there. If you use Blender for animation, you most likely have heard of this add-on, but in the case you have not, we're going to give you an overview of what it is capable of. Animation Layers is an add-on that simplifies working with the NLA editor into a standard animation layers workflow. If you are coming from other 3D packages like Maya, 3ds Max or Cinema 4D, you will notice that Blender lacks this feature. The add-on gives you a whole lot of control over the structure of your animation. You can easily layer animations on top of each other, merge, bake, duplicate, and much more. And you can select and edit each layer without the need to go through the whole process of going into the NLA's tweak mode. The add-on gives you the option to create as many layers as you want, and always see the result in real time. When you first enable the animation layers, you will get the base layer that holds all the pre-existing animations, in addition to keyframes. You can hit the plus icon and create as many layers as you need, and each object and armature will have their own separate layers, and each one of them will have an influence value which you can control using the NLA's mute, influence, solar, and its blending modes options. The influence can be easily keyframed using the key icon to the right, and you can also use shape keys instead of objects by selecting them on the drop-down menu on the top, and you can create, delete, merge, bake, and extract shape key layers. Other features that the add-on offers are the ability to bake backwards in contrast with the default Blender bake or merge down, and you can merge additive layers into a new additive layer. Furthermore, there is a smart bake which is able to estimate the new Bezier handles of the new baked curves. The add-on also allows for the use of library overrides, viewing and editing of multiple layers, extracting selected bones to a new layer, applying cyclic F-curves, and so much more. The add-on's interface is divided into 3 sections: Layer Outliner, Bake Operations, in addition to Tools and Settings. The Outliner is self-explanatory. Using the plus and minus icons, you can add or remove animation layers or shape keys from the Outliner. You can lock layers using the lock icon, and when it's turned on, the properties of the layer will not be visible and its actions will not be activated when selected. The eye icon mutes the layer so that the animation will not be affected by that layer, and the solo visibility icon will allow you to only preview the selected layer. You can also choose between different blend modes, like replace, add, and subtract. The influence control slider is using the NLA's strip influence property, and it can be animated using the plus key icon. The Bake Operator section has 4 options: Merge and Bake, which allows you to merge and bake layers from the currently selected layer down to the base layer. Clicking the Merge and Bake button will give you access to more options such as Bake Type, Bake Directions, and so on. The Smart Bake option will allow you to keep the same amount of keyframes instead of a keyframe per frame. The F-curve option will duplicate the keyframes along the time range and remove the cyclic modifier. You can also bake only the selected bone by ticking the checkbox labeled Only Selected Bones, otherwise all bones that have keyframes in all the merged layers will be baked. Duplicate Layer will allow you to duplicate the layer and all of its actions, and to keep the action linked, use the chain link icon. Next is the Extract Marked Keyframes option, and this one is extremely useful for motion capture cleanup workflow. Using this function, you can select the bones that you want to extract, and you can mark only the key poses and the important in-betweens that you want to keep when you use the operator Extract Marked Keyframes. This will create a new layer with the previously marked keyframes. In the Active Action section, you can select the action directly from the Animation Layers UI, or from the Action Editor. The active action will then load automatically into the selected layer. You can also select all the bones that have keyframes in the current selected layer by using the Selected Bones in Layer Operator. Additionally, you can reset the keyframe value to 0 using the Reset Key Layer operator, but unlike the Blender default reset operator, this one only resets the value on the selected layer. You can also add cyclic F-curves to your actions directly from the add-on's UI. This will add a cyclic modifier below any pre-existing modifiers, and it is similar to using Shift plus E in Blender's animation editor. However, this one works even in the 3D viewport on any selected bone or object. Also, it is better to avoid using the NLA editor when using the add-on in order to avoid any conflict between them. So if you are an animator or use Blender for animation at any capacity, I think Animation Layer add-on can be a huge time saver and overall will give you a better workflow compared to fiddling with the NLA editor. And for Blender to go mainstream and get adopted by all production studios, it doesn't have to be able to just be able to do things. It needs to do things better than the other products. And I personally think that this add-on is one of the steps towards the right direction. If you want to check the animation layers add-on, you will find the necessary links in the description. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can also check some of our previous videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.